Hi, I'm Kim Wade-Benzoni. I'm a professor in the Management and Organizations area at the Fuqua School of Business. I'm going to talk about my research on intergenerational decisions and the role that legacy motivations can play in those decisions. In this series of projects, my co-authors and I consider situations in which people are faced with a trade-off between the interests of themselves in the present and the interests of others in the future, because sometimes the interests of present and future generations conflict. For example, maintaining sustainable levels of natural resources for future generations can require that the present generation give up some of those resources for themselves. A central goal in this research has been to identify the factors that lead people to act on the behalf of future generations, even when there's no material or economic incentive for them to do so. Importantly, intergenerational decisions are characterized by the intersection of intertemporal and interpersonal dimensions. That is, they affect the future and they affect other people. We know it's difficult for people to defer the consumption of resources in the present and save them for the future. And we also know that it's difficult for people to give up beneficial resources so that other people can have them. So when we put these two forces together in the intergenerational context, it creates a compounded effect working in opposition to behaviors that benefit future generations. My research team and I have been investigating ways to counterbalance these significant forces that work against protecting the interests of future generations. And we have found that while the combination of intertemporal and interpersonal components creates challenges to intergenerational beneficence, it can also facilitate it because it creates the conditions that enable people to get something that can be very motivating. What people can get by acting on the behalf of future generations is legacy. You don't get legacy by having a fleeting temporary effect, and you don't get legacy by affecting only your own future self. You need to have both these elements, time and others, in combination to make it possible for you to leave a legacy. Legacy motivations are rooted in the desire to feel that one's life has meaning, and the legacy itself functions as a carrier of that meaning, extending the self into the future through impacts on future others. So it makes sense that when legacy motivations are active, people are going to be more likely to exhibit behaviors that benefit future generations. Given that legacy motivations are so important in intergenerational decisions, a central agenda for my co-authors and I has been to identify the factors that induce legacy motivations and consequently promote behaviors that are beneficial to future generations. We've looked at many variables that make a difference in intergenerational decisions, including the behavior of previous generations, power, death, uncertainty about the future, affinity with future generations, and perceptions of fairness. But our bigger goal has always been to use these insights to develop ways to improve societal and organizational outcomes. And so, in our current research, my co-authors and I are exploring how inducing legacy motivations can be used as a way to do just that. We ask people to think about the impact they want to have on future generations, and then to write about it for a few minutes, reflecting on how they would like to be remembered by future generations, what they would like to leave behind, and how they would like their actions, decisions, and behaviors to affect future generations in a lasting way. We have used this writing task in many studies and have found that it's effective in inducing legacy motivations and changing behavior in a variety of contexts. And the reason it works is because this process helps people to think through their long-term goals in a holistic way and contemplate what gives their life meaning. We know goal setting works, but we rarely do this with a long time horizon in mind. Explicitly thinking about your legacy makes it more likely that you'll be on the path to achieving it. One of our research projects specifically looks at the relationship between legacy motivations and entrepreneurial activities and attitudes. In collaboration with co-authors Matthew Fox, Jessica Paik, and Katrin Burmeister-Lamp, we propose that the desire to leave a legacy is a common source of motivation for entrepreneurs that can help explain the pursuit of entrepreneurial endeavors. The decision to start a new venture or act in entrepreneurial ways can be driven by an inner desire to have a lasting impact and create something that will endure beyond one's own involvement in its creation. In a series of studies, we find that legacy motivation is linked to several measures of entrepreneurship, including firm founding and patenting activity. Importantly, we found that when participants engaged in the type of legacy reflection I described earlier, it significantly increases entrepreneurial desirability and efficacy as compared to those who did not complete the reflection. Entrepreneurial desirability is the extent to which people find entrepreneurship attractive and believe that it's something that they might want to do. And entrepreneurial efficacy is the extent to which people believe that they would be a successful entrepreneur. Intentional legacy reflection can be a helpful exercise if you aspire to be an entrepreneur or if you're leading others in an entrepreneurial endeavor. But it can also be useful to encouraging and supporting an entrepreneurial mindset in any organization. Those with an entrepreneurial mindset are innovative, resilient, resourceful, and solution-oriented. So if I could give listeners one piece of advice, it would be to take this task seriously. Think about how you would like to have an impact on future generations, how you would like to be remembered, and how you would like the world to be different as a result of your life. Write down your thoughts and revisit your notes on your legacy vision from time to time. The most powerful thing you can do in your career in life is to leave a great legacy because it enables you to have influence well into the future. Being able to articulate that vision and aligning your behaviors with it will make it more likely that you will achieve those goals.